This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
It seems to me that maybe, just maybe, Donald Trump is losing his grip on right-wing media. He did an interview yesterday with Stuart Varney, who up to this point has been an absolute sycophant of Donald Trump, debasing himself, saying the most ridiculous things, pretending or maybe actually holding ridiculous positions in an effort to cozy up to dum-dum Donald Trump. And there's a crack in the veneer, if you will, possibly. Watching this interview, there's a couple of moments I want to play where Varney is, one, actively, openly, on live television, pushing back against Donald Trump's narrative. Not necessarily pushing back against the narrative of the election lie, but pushing back against the narrative that focusing on that is what we should do going forward. And then the second clip, he doesn't do a very good job of holding his face in a stoic position while Donald Trump talks about the N-word, but not the N-word. He's talking about the word nuclear, which doesn't need some kind of a code word for it. This first clip is pretty crazy. Watch this.
At CPAC, your speech was banned from YouTube. Second year in a row that's happened.
Yeah.
What can you do about that?
Truth.
Well, what can you do?
I talked about a rigged election, which it was 100% rigged. I mean, look at what happened in Wisconsin. Look at what's happening in Georgia. All the things they're finding, truth to vote. Look at all the hundreds of thousands of votes. So they don't like it, and they ban it. And, of course, Fox is afraid to put it on. But
wait a second.
Maybe I got through it.
Wait a second. If we go into 2022, the elections, and 2024, and you're still looking back to the election of 2020 and saying that you really won, I don't think that's very good for you or the Republican Party. You want to comment on that?
Well, I actually think it is good for me. And I think if we don't put out all of the crooked things, and we know what they are, that you won't win in 22 and you won't win in 24. If we don't get to it. So I think it's the opposite, actually. And I talk nothing about, nobody talks more about the future
you
than
think
I do.
that
But
2022, you think that 2022 and 2024 are all about the 2020 election? Really?
No. I think for us to win the election, we have to know how they cheated, because otherwise they'll cheat again. And we do know how they cheated. And the Republicans and Democrats should, but they won't. Republicans have to do something about it, or they're going to be very disappointed. And nobody talks more about the future than I do. But you have to learn from history also, and you can't let it happen again, Stuart.
All right.
Again, he's just like My Pillow goof, talking about all this evidence. The evidence is very clear, never actually giving specifics about what evidence, because there is none. Remember that Donald Trump's cases have been tossed out of over 60 courts, summarily rejected, because it's nonsense. It's conspiracy theory. In many of these cases, lawyers have been taken to task and punished from bar panels, legal panels, to either strip them of their license to practice law or at least go through the process of some kind of a censure. Because to lie to the court in an effort to subvert our democracy isn't looked upon highly. The other thing is Donald Trump's, if you notice this moment, when Stuart Varney says, is this good for you or the Republican Party? Donald Trump completely jettisons the idea or the aspect of the question about the Republican Party and says, no, this is good for me. Because again, that is all that it's about for Donald Trump. He does not care what is good for even, certainly not the country, but not even his own political party. Doesn't care. It's what's good for him. If it benefits him personally, then it's what everyone should be concerned with. And Stuart Varney, who does have some semblance of loyalty to the network, bristled at the proposition that Fox News, they don't even want to play it. He pushed back, maybe for the first time in his career when dealing with dumb Donald Trump. Now, this next clip, very brief, excuse me, very brief and bizarre. And again, watch Stuart Varney try to suppress his disgust and irritation while Donald Trump goes on his little diatribe.
But I listened to him constantly using the N-word. That's the N-word. And he's constantly using it, the nuclear word. And we never talk, we say, oh, he's a nuclear power. But we're a greater nuclear power.
One, and a former United States president should know this, we are not a greater nuclear power than Russia. They have over 1,000 nuclear warheads more in number than we do. You know, an ex-president should know that, shouldn't he? Shouldn't he have had access to all of the numbers that are, even in this case, public information? And secondly, this obsession with calling it the N-word and then repeating it, the N-word. I wish I could come up with some kind of an understanding or explanation for his behavior. But my brain operates normally, unlike dumb Donald Trump's, and I can't make it happen. But I'd love to know if you have an idea. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Email me, daily@dollemore.com. You can tell me in the comments. More importantly and more immediate, tell me in the comments, what do you think this moment was about especially? Because I can't figure it out. Follow me on social media. I'm at Dollemore on Twitter. I'm at Dollemore on Instagram. I'm at Dollemore on TikTok. And if you appreciate what I do, and if I bring you some value on a day-to-day or week-to-week basis, I would very much appreciate if you would consider, give it some thought, helping produce, helping support my work right here on the platform. You can click the join button below this video. Look into what's involved in becoming a channel member for as little as $1.99 a month. You can help support and produce what I do here, or you can go over to Patreon at patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. Both those are great ways to support what I do right here, not just for the podcast. Anyway, I love you guys. I appreciate you. I'm going to get a glass of water before my voice fails me. And I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.